Hello, I just finished editing this video that you're watching right now, and I realized I never filmed the intro for it. I could have sworn I did, but clearly I did not. So today you are going to be watching my reading fall themed books vlog. It's my first vlog, so bear with me please. The books you are going to see me read in this video are the Ex Hex by Erin Sterling. You're also going to see me read Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, and One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. So, I hope you enjoy the video. Thank you. So, a little update for the Ex Hex. I'm about a third of the way in. Yeah, I'm on page 110. There's a little bit over 300 pages in this book. I was right. It's a very cute, silly romance so far. Now, I do time to give you guys the actual synopsis of it because I realized I hadn't done that yet. I tend to read the a blurb or synopsis for books and then add them to my want to read, and then I'll pick up the book a few months later and I won't reread the synopsis before I read the book again, so then I don't actually know what it's about. I think it's kind of fun. I'm realizing for BookTube I might have to stop doing that all the time. Also, I'm a little dumb because, as you might see, the title of this book is The Ex Hex. Now the keyword here is X, which obviously means somebody you dated in the past. So this is clearly a second chance romance. I didn't know that. I didn't know it was a second chance romance. So that's a little silly of me. Basically the plot is we follow Vivian and Reese, that's our couple. 9 years before the events in the book, they dated and Reese broke her heart. She broke up with him. And while dealing with her breakup, she got drunk with her cousin and did a silly curse. It wasn't meant to be real. She's not very good at magic. But here we are 9 years later, and Reese has returned to the town, and it's sort of looking like the curse may not have been so silly after all. So it's really cute. The book has really, if you can see, for the page, it has pretty large words. I know that's probably not going to come across on camera very well, but compared to the last book I read, it is very, very fast. I will probably have it finished tomorrow at the latest, honestly. So yeah, it's super cute. I don't have anything else to say. There's a cat in here named Sir Percival, which I think is silly. And yeah, so I'll let you guys know when I have another update on it. So I finished the Ex Hex yesterday. I gave it about 3 stars. I think it was good, and I don't want the 3 stars to sound like I didn't like it, because I did like it. It's pretty much kind of what I thought it was going to be, which is it's a silly sort of Halloween October witch themed romance. It's definitely silly and surface level, and you're not going to get that super deep emotional layer that some people might be looking for in their romance books. But if you're just looking for something that's silly and cute and sexy, this book is definitely kind of spicy. It's definitely not the spiciest thing that I've read, but it's a little spicy, so if you don't like that, it might not be for you. But if you're just looking for that silly surface level thing and you're looking for something that's kind of gonna put you in the Halloween mood, then I would definitely consider reading it. I'm pretty sure there are 2 more books in this series, and I think I might read them if I am I'm able to get my hands on them. I got my copy of the Ex Hex secondhand for like $7, so for the hardback, which was a great price. I don't know that I would pay the like $30. Me personally, I try not to buy books super often anyway. I don't know if I personally feel like it'd be worth it for me to buy the next 2 books in the series at $30 a piece. But if somebody I knew had them, or if my library has them or something, I might. I think I probably would read the next 2 books. I was also able to start Rebecca by Daphne Dumour. I don't know how you say her last name yet. This is my like mother-in-law's copy of the book. She got it secondhand for like $5 or something, she said, and it's a really nice like hardcover, and it actually has a couple, there's not like a whole lot of them, but it's like an illustrated edition with these like really beautiful pictures. So I'm very early into it still. I'm on page 43. I'm on chapter 6 of this edition. But yeah, I'm really liking this so far. Hello, I'm here with a little update. I know it's kind of dark, but that's because I'm about to read more of my book, and I think it being a little dark adds to the spooky for the spooky reading vlog. So I only have like a little over 50 pages of Rebecca left because I've been feeling a bit under the weather. So I'm gonna finish it right now, and I turned on the camera just in case I make any funky facial expressions. I was reading last night and I got a bunch read yesterday that I was not recording, and I think most of the major plot twists probably happened in when I was reading last night, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna get any like major things happening, but yeah, it's really good. It really is. I did not see subplot twists that I mentioned a second ago. I did not see those coming at all, really. And it wasn't like they weren't foreshadowed kind of thing. It was just like I didn't put it together kind of thing, which makes it fun. So yes, I'm gonna sit back and read more of Rebecca. I've read about a chapter since my last check-in, and all I have to say is maybe this is why people should marry men 20 years older than them. I don't know. That might be a crazy suggestion, but who knows? house. Well, I just finished it. I don't really think I have thoughts at the moment. Hello. I've just gotten out of bed, so I'm not dressed yet, but I was about to start Frankenstein, and I just wanted to note, because I'm not normally a classics reader, if you can see if it would focus, I've put the, oh gosh, the lighting's weird. There. I've put the bookmark in. As you can see, that whole first chunk before that bookmark is just like introduction by, there's an introduction by somebody that has a PhD in literature, and then there's also an introduction by Mary Shelley, and then there's a preface or whatever by her husband, Percy Shelley, that's like written in her voice or something. Anyway, I don't read classics very often. That's something I'm planning on doing more. So I texted my partner, who's like in school to be an English teacher, on whether or not I should read all the introduction, because I didn't want to like get spoiled. Like, I want to just experience the book. And they said I do not need to read it, so I'm not going to. But I just thought it was interesting how much, there's also, I don't have a bookmark in it, but there's also a whole like 30 or 40 pages at the back of the book that's just end notes. So I already knew this book was short, but it's like way shorter than I thought it was. Hello. So I am almost done with Frankenstein. As you can see, this top part, it's actually only like half that because there's a bunch of stuff at the end of it. I'm on page 138, and the story actually ends at 197, so I'm pretty close to done. So I'm going to finish it. So that's all this is. I'm just going to finish it. sit down update for my reading spooky books thing I'm trying to do. So I wanted to give you my final thoughts on Rebecca first, since I did finish it. I think it's really good. I rated it a 4 on Goodreads, since, as we all know, Goodreads does not have like half and quarter stars. I just give things even stars, and I tend to round down most of the time just because that's easiest for me. So I give it a 4. It was pretty close to a 5. Literally the only problem I had with it is sometimes it was a little slow, like I felt like our main character monologued a little bit. Now, everything else about it was good. One of the things I think that really added to our narrative is our main character is unnamed. Her first name is never revealed. So we know she's the second Mrs. De Winter, but her first name is never revealed to us. So I think that adds to the whole feeling she has of having to compare herself to Rebecca, who everyone loved and cherished, and we don't even get her name. I do think I misunderstood the vibes a little bit. I feel like I really remember hearing people talk about how unsettling it was and that they were like scared to read it. And I think this is a case of me interpreting what people said a little bit wrong. I do think the book is unsettling in some of the events that happen and some of the other things that go on. I think it's more thought-provoking and more like general anxiety-inducing than it is like scary, I would say. Again, I mentioned it earlier, I think, but I'm reading my mother-in-law's copy that she got for like $5. And it again has these like really beautiful illustrations that I feel like did add to my reading experience. There's not very many. I think there's only like 4 or 5, but that was really well. If you've read this and you've read the ending, I think that it was done well. I didn't expect it. I didn't expect the plot twist that did happen throughout this. There were several plot twists that I did not expect. And, yeah, I think that's my thoughts. I think it's really good. I think if you're interested, it's not a very hard to read classic, so I definitely think it's worth picking up. So, yeah, that was Rebecca. I've also finished Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I finished this yesterday, I think. This, I think I settled on giving a 3 on Goodreads. It's probably close to a 4. Probably should have been nice and given it a 4. However, for at least half the book, I was very bored. But the other half of the book, I was very, like, enthralled and interested in what was going on. The back of my copy describes it as a gothic thriller, passionate romance, and cautionary tale about the dangers of science. Frankenstein is often referred to as one of the first science fiction novels, and I suppose that's true because it has science in it. You know, Victor Frankenstein builds a monster. I think we all know that. But it's definitely not science fiction in the same way that, like, Project Hail Mary, like that, and by Andy Weir, is science fiction. Like, it doesn't feel... This book, Frankenstein, is definitely more about thinking about questions about, like, what is life and what is humanity than it is about the science. Like, the science doesn't actually have that much to... It's the background, but it is not, I think, what we are supposed to think about. So I gave it a 3. Mostly because it was so slow. I will also say, Mrs. Mary Shelley loves a comma. It's like her favorite, commas and semicolons galore. This woman knows how to write very long sentences. But yeah, that's my thoughts on Rebecca. I am probably also going to start One Dark Window, which is the first book in this duology. They're a little bit chunky. And One Dark Window will be the last book I'm reading in this spooky blog thing. And then there will be a part 2 of the spooky blog where I read the second book in this duology, Two Twisted Crowns, along with some other spooky themed books that I think will actually fit the spooky a little bit more than some of the first ones in this video. I think these will fit because I've heard that the vibes are very dark magic and like creepy forest, and there's spirits and dark magic, so it should fit our vibes a little better. Hello, I'm checking in for my Reading Books with Fall Vibes vlog thing that I'm doing. I've made quite a lot of progress on One Dark Window. I just reached part 3, and I only have, I think there's like 70-ish pages left of the book. I don't know, I didn't really check. So I'm here to tell you guys what it's about, and then I'm going to sit and read the rest of it on camera. It is 2 in the morning, and I was reading in my bed, but then I was getting towards the end of the book, and I wanted to film footage, but I didn't want to film in bed, because my partner's trying to sleep, so here we are. So I probably woke the guinea pigs up, but they wake us up all the time, so it's fine. So, One Dark Window is about our main character's named Elspeth. She lives in a kingdom called Lunder. This kingdom is encased in a mist that is like spreading and has been spreading over time. And the mist infects people with magic, and that is not chill in this world. I don't really want to tell you why, because I think it's fun to sort of figure it out. But it's dark magic. It's not chill to have magic. Having magic is like an executionable offense, except there are these cards called Providence cards, and if you have a Providence card, you can use that card to do magic. I hope that makes sense. And our character Elspeth is essentially, the gist of the book is our character, her, and the people she ends up meeting and working with are working to try and save the kingdom. You know, this mist is spreading, it's infecting people, it's not chill. So that's that. I might give a little more information when it's not 2 in the morning and after I finish it. So that's that. I'm gonna finish it now probably. And then if it leaves me on a cliffhanger, I might have to start the second one. Who knows? It's not me. I'm tired. So, yeah. That's also suddenly, I live in the Midwest, like Illinois, and it's been so hot for weeks, and then all of a sudden now it's in the 40s. What's that about? I wasn't prepared. Crazy. I'm gonna read that. Hello. So as you may have seen in my footage, I finished One Dark Window last night, and I don't think I was expecting it to have the conclusion that it did. I wouldn't say it's like a super big cliffhanger, but it is definitely a cliffhanger of sorts. It's not like the biggest cliffhanger in the world, but it is. I do have questions. I do want to know what's going to happen. I haven't started the second book yet. I'm about to, but yeah. So I wanted to tell you my thoughts on this book. I think it's really good. I think the magic system is really unique, and I don't think I've seen anything quite like it in any other books. I may have sort of tried to explain last night. I'm not sure if I'm going to leave that in or not because it was 2 in the morning and I don't know that I was all there. But essentially the magic system in this world involves these cards called Providence cards, and if you have the card you can do the magic that correlates to said cards. There's 12 different types of cards, I think, and there are some other people who have magic from other reasons, and it like hurts them. It's super interesting. I don't really want to spoil it because I tend to, as we're gonna realize on my booktube channel as I keep going, I tend to read the synopses for books and then add them to my TBR, like add them to my list or purchase them, and then I will frequently wait a couple of months before I actually read it, and then by the time I get around to reading it I forget the synopsis, but I know that I should like it because I already added it to my list, if that makes sense. So I like to go in sort of blind. Like usually I'll remember little tidbits, like I obviously knew this was supposed to be a fantasy, and stuff like that, but yeah, and I kind of think that's I like going into books that way, so I don't super plan on changing it, but it does make it hard to explain what a book is supposed to be about before I read it, and I also don't think I have a good idea of what people consider to be spoilers. But anyway, so yeah, I finished this. I think I'm going to give it a 4. It's probably close to like a 4.25 or a 4.5 or whatever, but for Goodreads purposes, it is a 4. And I will be reading the next book in this series in the part 2 of this video, as well as 3 more like fall themed books. So to recap for the end of the video, in this reading books with fall vibes video, we read the Ex Hex, which is a witch themed second chance kind of romance. I gave this a 3 stars. I think it's good. It's not amazing, but it's definitely a fun read for like October. The next book I read in this video was Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This was amazing, really close to a 5. I did not expect the events that happen in this book to happen. I do think it fits the fall vibes because it's like pretty eerie still, but it's not, it's maybe the biggest stretch out of all the ones I read in this video. After Rebecca, I read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, which is a classic that we've all heard of. We all know what Frankenstein is. I also didn't expect this book to go the way that it went, as in it was more about the social commentary than it was actually about the monster. But it's still a fall book because it's Frankenstein. I gave this a 3 because it was really slow in a lot of parts. It's probably closer to like a 3.5 or 3.75 or whatever, but I gave it a 3. And then to finish, I read One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, which is the first book in the Shepherd King duology. I gave this a 4. It's probably more like a 4.5. It's amazing. It's great. The fall vibes are definitely there because a lot of it takes place in fall. It's like a forest, spooky type situation, and it's really good. If you're interested in seeing me read 4 more fall themed books, I will be doing a second part to this video where I read Two Twisted Crowns, which is the follow-up to this book, and 3 other fall themed books. So yeah, thanks for watching.